What's up? What's up, guys? It's Devin from Neptune Design, and today I have got one of my new favorite people in the house. It's Gabriella Marcano. Gabriella, say hi.
Hello, hello. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for the invite.
And today, Gabriella is going to talk to us about the future of digital marketing. So she's like my guru, uh, uh, my person who looks into her crystal ball, and she tells me what's going to come in the next 10 years because I just don't know. So Gabriella is, let me tell you a little bit more about Gabriella. She is the founder and owner of GM Ignited. They are a digital marketing agency focused on fashion and apparel, and they're based in Miami. Is that right? Miami?
Miami. Yeah, that's correct.
Miami, definitely. And she's just a wonderful person, man. When I met her, it was, we talked and we talked like we know each other for like 30 years.
Forever.
Am I
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Super
So yeah.
organic.
So yeah, in the show today, we're just going to be talking about, we're going to talk about AR. We're going to talk about the metaverse. Well, I don't really want to talk about the metaverse, but more the AR ads is what I'm really interested in. We're going to talk about 3D ads. We've got a lot of cool things to show you guys, but I want to take it slow. I want to really talk to Gabby and find out what makes her tick, because not only does she do a lot of cool stuff on the digital marketing side, but she also, if you go through a TikTok feed, she's got some massive positive messages that the world needs to hear. So,
Oh, thank you so much. What an
Gabriella
introduction. Oh
Marcano.
my God. You're making me blush.
So, Gabriella Marcano, tell me who you are, where do you come from, and tell me a little bit about your history.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, everyone that's watching this. My name is Gabriela, yes, and I was born in Venezuela. So my first language is actually Spanish. And I kind of always had a fascination for the communication industry. Ever since I was like super little, I was like, oh, I'm gonna start my YouTube channel before even YouTube was a thing. I kind of went on the radio and became like a host at a super young age. Like no one in Venezuela, or at least Caracas, my city, had done that before. I was like 12 years old, I think. And I was like
What
leading
that was
a
Caracas, you said?
Caracas, yes, that is the capital of Venezuela. That is
Okay.
where I was born and raised. And ever since that, it's just I've always loved, advertising, marketing. Went to a couple like summer schools. I went to Columbia University in New York, and as a summer school program in advertising and marketing. And I kind of was able to walk through the agencies in New York. And that's when I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is an exciting world. I definitely am a laid back, chill type of girl. I like to be creative. I like to brainstorm. I don't do well with rules. So I was like, I see myself in like this environment.
Cool.
And we're here today.
Yeah, now we're here today. Now, I want to dig into a couple of things. First and foremost, that you don't like following rules. I completely agree with that line, because that, if people had to describe me, they would describe me with those exact same things. So I think
Yeah.
before we get deeper into that, tell me what's it like going from, being in Venezuela, but of
Mhm.
I'd say a developing country, because I'm also in a developing country.
Sure.
What was it like going from that into the United States? And you said you were what, 12, 17 years old?
Oh no, I moved at 17.
You moved
So
at
I
17.
I did summer schools, but I always went back home to
Oh, so
Venezuela.
you already had the exposure to the American.
Yeah, I already
Yeah.
had like, yeah, I went to camp since I was like 6, 5 years
Yeah.
old. So I definitely had that exposure. That's how I learned English actually, was like coming to the US and being in camps or summer schools and things like that. But it is, I mean, definitely different. I think a different perspective when you're like a child versus an adult,
Yeah.
and how different the adult life is in the US. I think that's the biggest like contrast. And like in Caracas, you're in a bubble, right? Because you're part of like this very select part of population. You can only go to certain places. You only interact with, this part of society where you're in. So it's kind of like you live on this little bubble. And coming here, it's a wider bubble. I can't say like I can't say that I'm, like I don't know, like there's so many people that obviously it's still a bubble wherever it is that you are, but it's so much bigger, which means you get to know people from a lot of different cultures. You get to see a lot of different people with different values, and obviously just the dynamic in itself of the US being able to walk down the streets and not feel that they're gonna, steal from you or murder you or
It's, you
or
know,
kidnap you.
it's weird that you say that. It's weird that you say that because when I was in the UK, so I'm walking around with my friend and we get to the traffic lights and I'm
Mhm.
looking around and my friend is like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, "You're just looking around all the time, like you're paranoid, like something." I'm like, this, oh my gosh, because in South Africa, when you get to a set of traffic lights, you could get
Yeah.
robbed, you could get jacked, they could pull you out of your car. You don't know
Mhm.
what's coming. So you kind of develop this alertness about you. And
Yeah,
it takes
yeah.
a while for you, it takes a while for that to like go away. So when I
Oh,
went to the
100%.
UK, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm safe. I am safe. I literally had to
Yeah,
repeat to myself, like, this is not South Africa. You are safe now. Did the same
right.
thing happen to you?
Yeah, yeah. I think my mom is still like that sometimes. She's like, "Walk fast. Walk fast." I'm like, "Why should I just walk fast? Like it's it's chill, mom. Like chill." She's like, "Oh my God. So I heard this person say that like that they're putting like whatever type of drug. I don't know the name in English. And so now we need to be careful because this is turning out to be like similar." And I was like, chill, just because you heard it once doesn't mean it's happening like consistently and it's like a norm. But it's definitely an adjustment when you live in fight or flight mode for I don't know how many years, what, 50 years maybe for her. And for me, it was obviously 17. So it's easier to reprogram, especially at that age. But yeah, I think the flight or flight mode is very hard to get past it.
Yeah, yeah,
Your
that is so
body just
true.
gets used to it. Yeah.
That is so true. So you come to America, you're this young, bright-eyed girl, and you're thinking to yourself, what type of person do I want to be? What do I want to
Mhm.
do with my life and stuff like that? What
Mhm.
were your influences? What did I think I'm struggling to find the question. What were the things that you aspired to be when you were
Yeah.
in the States for those first formative years?
I love this question because I think I've been through an entire growth journey since I got to the US. And I think at the very beginning, just because when you come from a Latin community and Hispanic country, you're almost raised as a woman, you're almost raised to be like this proper housewife and someone that supports her husband. And those like the roles are very set, at least, back when I was little, that's how I was raised. And you know, obviously my parents invested in my education in the US, so it was like, like there's a brighter future, you're definitely going to be a professional woman. But there was still that expectation of like, although you have a degree, although you're going to get a job and you're going to do wonderful, that's going to become like a second part of your life, not like your priority. Like your priority is still going to be like being a mother and raising a family and being with your husband, etc. Even if you are professional. So that talk about it just seems like not even a possibility. I don't think it was even part of my head being a business owner, being an entrepreneur. It wasn't even not that it wasn't a possibility, but it wasn't part of my brain. Like it didn't exist. It almost seemed like that doesn't exist, right? You work, you get a job, you rise the ladder, you get married, and that's it, right? And that's my extent to it. And then I started just, I think it was once I started working on myself, my beliefs and my values, and questioning a lot of like, why do I believe this? Or why do I do things like this? Or, also going through like heartbreaks or, challenges that life threw my way.
Yeah.
Um, and the way I chose to confront those situations were in a way that really challenged my beliefs. And one thing led to another, and I just kind of started to see, and also like people that started coming to my life. Again, you see a lot of different cultures, you see a lot of different people, you meet a lot of different things that are no longer part of your bubble that think differently. So once you see how they think and get a peek into other people's worlds, your mind starts broadening and you start discovering new possibilities or witnessing that there's other ways of living life, right? And I think that's when it came about to me that, hey, like, honestly, I can do more than just be that housewife. I still want to do it. I think I still, but it's more of a choice
Yeah.
rather than like not being a housewife, having a family, right?
Yeah.
But it's more of a choice now. And it's also like I can still integrate both things. I can still be a successful woman, businesswoman, and still be a super present mother and wife, right? And that before maybe wasn't something. And now it's definitely not only a possibility, but something I aspire, right? So, long answer to just tell you that I think it was a combination of really growing and really challenging myself and my ways of thinking about life, and then also choosing, like, okay, what do I choose to keep from back home, and what do I choose to defy, and kind of build my own beliefs around that, right? And then just key people coming into my life, key mentors, and later, and I'm not proud of this, but it was later that I started viewing at, role models and viewing at people and saying like, oh yeah, I want to model this, or I would like to be more like that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I would say after college that I started more so focusing on that once I understood that there are more possibilities out there for me. Because before it was just like the path is drawn.
It is weird how that works. Like, it is weird how you grow up and it's kind of like the paths are preordained and there's nothing you can do about it. Like when I grew up, YouTubers just no.
Right.
The business owner, hell no, because
Mhm.
you're growing up in basically a country where like the unemployment rate is high. So for example, in South Africa, we've got 40% unemployment. So you're just not given that many options. They want you secure. They want you
Yeah.
eating every month, and they want you to get married and get children. That is like,
Right.
that's your list of requirements. And
Yeah.
it's so weird how that survival mentality kind of seeps into your personality as well.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I remember going and telling my parents about all of these wonderful things. Like I remember telling my father, like, I wanted to be a paleontologist. And
Uh-huh.
that, like, no other kid was talking about paleontology. They were talking
Paleontology.
about
Yeah.
doctor, lawyer, engineer, and I was like, I want to be a paleontologist. And my father just told me, look, that profession, just no, it's
Don't cut
just
it. Yeah.
it's not gonna do it. And I don't blame my father, because I think at that stage he probably had never had a kid saying he wants to be a paleontologist. So he was probably thinking to himself, like, what is wrong with my son? Why doesn't he want to be like something that I can send him to university for? Why doesn't he want to be
Yeah.
something easy? And I think once you get older in life, you start to thank yourself for not giving in so easily to what your family wanted for you. It's
Yeah.
it's so weird how that happens. Like I know that my mom and my dad had a plan for me, and I royally screwed up that plan, man. I was that kid. I
Yeah.
was that kid, that kid who tries everything for like 9 months, and then after 9 months, I'm like, nah, this ain't me. This ain't me.
Mhm.
And no matter how much pressure they put on me, I would straight up be like, nah, this ain't me. Not taking that
Right.
job, not doing that thing. Can
Mhm.
you can you maybe articulate why it's so hard for people to follow the type of path that you follow, because meeting you and talking to you, you're a very headstrong person. You're the type of person that if you want to do something, you're going to do it come hell or high
Yeah.
water. What do you think it is about you that allows you to do that?
So that's the I think it's just there are two perspectives in life, right? You can be the victim of things that happen to you, or you can take ownership of the things that are happening in your life. And I think it comes down to that. I think for me, I learned through hardships or just life, my own journey, my unique experiences, that I had those choices. Like, I think the moment I understood that, and I know it sounds cheesy, but life wasn't happening to me, but it was happening for
For
me, and
you.
that I truly had a decision to make about everything that was happening in my life. I think that gives you a sense of power and a sense of, then why can't I choose better?
Yeah.
Right? And so the moment that you see that as a possibility, I think it's all on you, right? You're no longer a freaking victim of the world and of life. And, I don't have any other ways of doing things. And I think that creates a lot of sense of, okay, so then what do I want? Right. And the more that you start discovering what you want, start taking the risk and start, still being afraid, but doing it anyways. I think that's what makes it a little bit easier to follow what your essence is and what you love and who you are, and start discovering more of yourself and start falling in love more with yourself because you're being more real to yourself and more authentic. Um, and I think it's a journey. I don't think it happens out of, nowhere. I think life will show you that you really do have that possibility. Like with me, I if I hadn't experienced the things that I've experienced, maybe I wouldn't be where I am today, and I wouldn't think the way I do
True.
today. So it was those hardships that really taught me that, no, I'm not a victim of them. Like, I can decide what to make of them, because circumstances are going to happen in life, right? There are a lot of things that are going to happen that we can't control, but what we can control is how we like react to it and what we choose to make out of it, right? And so, but you wouldn't know that until you realize that you do have an option, right?
Yeah.
That those aren't just things that just happen because they happen and poor you. The more you get out of that mindset of poor me, oh, this happened to me, or so like I can't believe like life hates me, karma, or whatever it is that
Doesn't
you
it
believe.
get on your nerve when people do that around you? Now that you've snapped out of that, doesn't it get on your nerves when people do that around you? Like the victim
I would have to
mentality?
I would have to say I would have to say, because I've been working so much on myself, now it comes more from a perspective of compassion and non-judgmental, because I've been there so much
Yeah.
that it's almost like, you'll know better. Like, I promise it'll make sense. And like, we're all on our own timeline. So I think that's so freaking cool because, yes, I've learned so much from my parents, but I'm also at a point where I'm teaching them so much too. And I see them at this age still question so many things and being like, oh, then maybe this is not the way I thought it had to be, but maybe there's other
Ah,
options. And then I'm like,
that's
are you
beautiful.
being serious? Like
That's
for me,
beautiful.
it's so cool. Like the more like I've learned energy attracts like energy, right? And so the more I've evolved and the more I challenge my beliefs and the more I challenge myself and the more I'm like, okay, but now I'm the best version of myself, but what can the next version of myself be, right? And then because we're evolving beings.
Yeah.
It's always changing, life is always moving, and so are you, right? And so the option of evolving and choosing how to evolve is on you. And the more I've done that, the more contagious I've been in that pursuit of like, oh, look at Gabby, look the 180 change she's made. So how can we make it too? And it's not me pushing or it's not me like incentivizing it, but it's a natural consequence of me going through this journey and them being close to me to see it, and then they're like, "Okay," and I see it's like, especially my dad, he's like, "Oh, wow. Okay, so what you're saying is that maybe we can look at it this way, or maybe we can do it this way," and then it's almost like the moment that you get out of that mindset of like, I can't do anything about it," or "I'm a victim," is the moment, I swear to God, so you're never gonna go back. Things are gonna be just so much better for you because you understand that you can decide. And that doesn't mean that you're not gonna make mistakes,
Yeah.
or that you're not gonna, like, make awful decisions at the moment. It seemed awful. They
Yeah.
seem awful, but it's saying like, that was on me.
Yeah.
Like, I made that decision. I made that poor decision, or you know what? I made that poor decision, but it's taking me down the path that I can still control, whatever it may be. But it's no longer the victim you that feels powerless and feels
Yeah.
like you can't make something better out of yourself in your life, and you're just a victim of life.
That is super true. That is super true. And I think it's weird in that we sometimes don't give ourselves permission to just I think like sometimes we label everything as failure, and therefore we're so scared to try anything new because
Mhm.
instantaneously, if we've never done something before,
Yeah,
the almost certain result will be failure. And I think people are so crippled by that. Like
yeah.
they are like, let's just say something crazy like, okay, like right now I'm learning how to speak Portuguese.
Oh,
My
awesome.
because my girlfriend is Portuguese and we're thinking about moving to Portugal. So I'm learning how to
Oh,
speak Portuguese. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, what is it that makes me so unafraid to just pick up a language and just start, you know, where
trying.
other people just they're so scared. Like, what if what if I don't know how to? The thing is, you're never gonna know anything, or you're never gonna be able to do anything unless you try it. And when you
Right.
try it, it turns out that trying things out is the best way of building confidence, because when you're constantly trying things, somehow you just start realizing that, you know what, failure is not the end, or what you perceive to be failure was actually
Mhm.
just you beginning to learn something. Like I've had three businesses before, no, two businesses before this one.
Mhm.
The first one, it fell apart. It was like I I could sit back and I could tell you every single thing we did wrong in that business, and we probably did like 50 or 100 things wrong. Fundamentals we got absolutely wrong in that business, but I was young at
Right.
that time.
Mhm.
Started a second business as well. That was in 2015. That one didn't work out. So you would think that after two failed businesses, people would say, hey man, don't, why are you putting yourself through this?
Again.
Why are you going to go through all of this again? And I did. I just went the third time because I said, hey, I failed twice. I feel like I've learned so much more. And the last one, the one that I'm currently in, that one's booming. It's doing extremely well. But
Mhm.
I think a lot of people, once they fail at something once, that's it. No more. They're
Yeah.
completely done with it. And I think there's something very unique about entrepreneurs that allows us to just push through something and not see it as a complete failure, or even if it is a complete failure, to be able to just look at it and go, okay, I did this wrong, I did this wrong, or I did this wrong, and be
Yeah.
able to pick ourselves back up. And I think the normal people are so scared of just going down that avenue. If they don't know they're going to get the result they want, they kind of don't even want to go down that path to see what's there.
Yeah. But what I love is that you could always that's all mindset, right? That's
Yeah.
all mindset. And I truly believe the difference between the entrepreneurs that make it versus the ones that don't have to do a lot with mindset, right? For example, you, although you had those failing businesses, the first two, um, you still had that mindset that pushed you forward, right? Because you choose to hold on to the thoughts and the beliefs that, hey, maybe this next one is. Whereas you could have, it was a potential for you to focus on, oh, I lost or I failed twice. I'm going to fail again. So you could choose to focus on, hey, like the third one, maybe that's the one. I can do it. I just grab the lessons and move forward. Or you could have grabbed on the belief of, I failed twice, I'm gonna fail again, so I'm not gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think like that's something necessarily you're born with. That has a lot to do with how you were raised and how you choose to raise yourself also, because we do also choose to raise ourselves the moment that
I
we
like to
start
call it pre-programming. It's kind of like your brain
programming,
was
right?
kind of pre-programmed, and
Of
then you
course.
have to like uninstall all the bad software in your brain and
Yeah.
reinstall all of the good beliefs that you should
Yeah.
have. And sometimes that bad software can come from your neighborhood, it can come from friends, it can come from surroundings, or it could just come from you, you know, the fears
Yeah.
and the beliefs that you're born with.
Yeah. And I don't think it's a bad programming. It's just a programming that needs to be challenged and reprogrammed,
Updated,
right?
maybe.
Updated.
Yeah.
Yes, updated. And that is it. So I think it's a potential for everyone. Everyone. There are no exceptions, no matter where you come from, uh, who you are. Nothing matters. You will have, of course, your unique challenges, but the possibilities are there for you to choose, and you always have two options to choose from: the one that will limit you, hold you back from living the life that you want, and the other one that pushes you forward and keeps you going. And again, both have their own challenges. It's just a matter of deciding which one you want.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I think me and you, we should be mindset coaches. That's what we're gonna do next.
Well, I am actually getting my certificate to be a coach.
Okay, she's ahead
So
of me. No problem. I'll just follow your lead.
yeah, I'm actually already going to launch my coaching services of doing one-on-ones for mindset coaching. So that's exciting.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Just tell me what it's about. Maybe if somebody's interested, they're watching this. What does it entail?
Yeah, so again, because I've been able to witness what therapy and coaching has done in my life and how much I've been able to grab the handles of my life and really start living it the way I choose and to my design. I've always loved psychology, so I minored in psychology in college. Always, I wanted to do something in psychology. Like 90% of my podcasts, you would assume they're marketing based, but they're all psychology based and mindset based. And so I was like, I have to do something around this. And it wasn't until kind of like I established my agency and things were going well that I was like, okay, I am gonna pursue something that is so dearest to my heart. And almost like a way of giving back. Like, I feel like I'm someone that has overcome so much in my life, um, and I wanna help people transform their lives too, and believe that they can also live their life by design and choose to live the life that they actually want and discover what it is that they actually want. Because part of it is also knowing and daring
Yeah.
to push the boundaries of like, okay, so I think I want an example to build an agency, but how much of that is truly what you want and how much is a social construct of, oh, agencies make money sometimes if done
And
right,
I want
right?
money.
So,
Yeah.
and I want money, right? So, oh, and it seems like an easy path or whatever, or
Yeah.
it's more approved by my family or whatever it may be, right? And it's almost like taking yourself from that perspective and just putting yourself in a mindset that, okay, no matter what I choose to do, I can be successful, be free, be abundant, and all these things, right? And
Yeah.
so, uh, because then that's internal. So you start depending less on your external circumstances, start depending more on, it's on you and you control it. And
Yeah.
there's a sense of like just huge comfort that comes from that. And so I decided to pursue my certificate. I'm still in the middle of it, but I already have, the tools to start offering that. And yeah, I am pursuing that as well as part of a project to my heart for
Awesome.
women that want to, specifically wanting to work with women that want to discover their purpose and potentially start their own business as well.
And what we're gonna do is underneath this video in the description, you guys, you're going to see not only Gabby's links to her social media and her website, you're also going to see a link for that specific service as soon as it's launched. I don't know if it's active already, but when it's launched, I'll come back and update the description if it's not there already. Okay, guys? So you get to learn from the master herself. Now, I brought you here not to do all of this mindset stuff and all of this Venezuela stuff and all of this belief stuff and family, but I think it's also important for the people to understand more about your background and not just, you know, what you can do. And I think we've done a pretty good job of laying that out. So the final piece of this that I want to get to is the digital marketing stuff.
Let's get right in.
Let's get right into it. So how did you fall in love with digital marketing? Where did you work before? And why are you one of the crazy ones who decided to start their own agency?
Okay, threefold questions. Great. The first one, like I said, it was like just always interested in marketing. I went to summer schools, saw the agency world. Again,
wait. When you say saw the agency world, how did you see the agency world?
Oh, we had a little field trip, part of the program, and we went to, I don't remember, oh my God, I don't remember the agency. I remember it was in New York, and I can't, I don't want to even say something wrong, but it was like, obviously it was Manhattan, and it was, I don't want to say maybe Rockefeller Center.
Okay.
I don't want to like say something that isn't true, but it was like in the middle of like Manhattan. And it was like this major agency. It had many, many floors, and it had like rooms with like whiteboards and like brainstorming rooms and breakout rooms and all these things. And
Whoa.
yeah, it was like a big one. It
So
was
you
like a
could
big
like see this was a place where ideas were being born and people were actually bringing them to
yes.
life.
Yes, I was like, they were creating something. And I loved like the multiple personalities. I loved like people dressing chill. Like I just never saw myself like behind a cubicle with like a suit or anything like that, nothing super formal. So a free environment, or at least that had the perception of being free, because then I later worked at agencies, and that's kind of, you know, my path. So that's how it started. I know it's super weird, but I used to watch America's Next Top Model, and they used to do a lot of commercials for like CoverGirl and
Yeah.
Maybelline and brands like that. And so I remember me at literally 10 years old building my own commercials and creating my own products, like just at home. You know, I would like create I had like this
That is
notebook,
so
and like
cool.
yeah, and I would like sit my mom down and be like, "Mom, okay, this is my product, and this is what it's gonna say. This is
That's
the
cool.
slogan. This is the colors." Like I was just like picture the entire thing. So obviously the passion was there. And I always had this idea that I hated the way that marketers were always like selling like, you know, lust and physical appearance and things
Yeah.
like that. And I always had fallen in love with commercials like Coca-Cola or Extra, the
Yeah.
gum, that was like falling in love. Everything that had to do more with emotions and realness and family and better values for society, because I do believe like media has a heavy impact on
Yeah,
society.
it
So I was
does.
like, yeah. And so for me, it was like, okay, I love marketing. I hate a huge aspect of marketing. So how can I be part of building a more mindful part of marketing, right? A
Okay.
more mindful approach to marketing.
All right.
Uh, yeah, and that's kind of my journey. I then started I worked at Reebok. I worked at uh in the communications department of like an insurance company, which I hated.
Yeah.
I worked at multiple agencies, and I just started defying like a lot of the things that I just didn't like, and obviously keeping a lot of the things that I did like. Like, for example, I did not like that the attention wasn't very intentional for clients. I didn't like that it wasn't really about the clients, but rather more about the money. I didn't like that people cared more about um just the the task at hand and like they didn't care about the employees and their work-life balance, or even to fulfill the job to the best of the abilities, and being able to say, you know what, client X, I can't fulfill that need right now. We're at capacity with XYZ, but we're gonna get it back to you in, I don't know, 2 more days, but it's gonna be the best quality.
Yeah.
I much rather have that approach and tell my client, you know what, I understand, but in order for me to give you the best work possible, let's wait, let's hold off 2 days, or whatever it may be, instead of like overworking your employees and pushing out just to push out work. And so that for me was like, okay, I don't like this. I don't believe in this, and I don't want this for me. And during COVID, of course, popular COVID, they said that if you didn't become an entrepreneur during COVID, it's not within you. It's like there was nothing else to do.
That is so true, though. That is.
I mean, yeah, there was nothing else to do. And during COVID, I was like, naturally, there were like a lot of brands, small brands, people I knew, or just they came up to me for different ways, and they needed a little bit of help in the PR and digital marketing front. And I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I already do that. I definitely can help you.
Yeah.
So it started off like super, super freelancy, super not thinking it would become
super
anything.
Informal, just like, let me help a brother out. I'm just gonna help a sister out.
Like,
I'm just gonna,
yeah, I'll do that for $200.
Yeah.
Sure, like, no worries. And obviously one thing led to another, and here we are today.
Awesome.
It just kind of escalated. My company, the agency, found out, which I didn't even know was against policy.
Yeah.
And they fired me, and I had already this going. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just roll with it.
That's awesome. So you basically were working
sorry,
at the job.
Devin. That is life happening for me.
That's true. That is true.
Let's just say.
That is
Because
super
it was devastating being fired and scary, but look, oh my God, it's been so great, right? So
let me get this right, just so that I have the picture in my mind. Hold on, I just want to switch this light on. Whoops. Okay, I'm back.
No worries. Great.
Can you hear me? Got it. All right. So let me just get this right. All right. You were fired and you sat at home and you had money coming in from clients anyway. And you were like, I could see myself being a boss. I could see myself doing this. And then you were like, okay, I'll just own it. I'll own it. I'll just do it.
Somewhat like that. I can't.
Oh, there was lots of fear involved. Let's just say that.
Yes.
There was plenty fear involved. Like
I don't want people to get the bad idea.
It's not like you were a superhero and you just put your cape on and you're like, okay, we're gonna do this now. This is me now. You know what I'm saying? It is not like that. I think the interesting thing about us both is we've been fired a lot. Like I've been fired twice. And you've been fired 3 times. So she's beating me. I need to be fired from at least 2 more jobs so that I can, one up her. Exactly. But the thing that I find so interesting about being fired is how much of my life falls into place, how much of my life has fallen into place because I got fired. Because I think when you're in a corporate environment and when you're working a job and, you've got this job, you've got this deadline, you've got these things that you're busy with, you have this email and you need to send this email and this email is the meaning of life and you need to attend that meeting and you're so freaked out about that meeting because that person's going to be there. And once you actually get fired, you start realizing that none of it matters. It doesn't matter. Did you also feel that? Like, I kind of say it was kind of like an epiphany for me because I had so many different things going on. I was so in line with what my boss wanted me to do and what his vision was for my life that I actually never, ever took my vision for my life seriously until I got fired. And I was like, hey, there is a lot more to life than just this.
Mm-hmm.
Has that kind of happened to you when you got fired? What was your experience?
A lot of freak out
Yeah.
for sure. The first time I was like, I made it mean something about my worth,
Yeah.
and I don't think that that's obviously ever acceptable, because you can't let anything or anyone make anything mean about your worth. Um, and you know what? It was almost like life was always pushing me to do my own thing, just because since I was in my early ages, I always kind of wanted to do my own thing, whether I knew it consciously or
Yeah.
not. Like, I was doing that YouTube channel before YouTube was a thing. I was, at the radio station taking ownership of what was being said. Like, I was creating my own commercials without, you know what I mean? Like, I always had that initiative within me. And because I didn't do well by just following rules to just follow rules without questioning, why should I send that email that way instead of the way that I think it's best? Like, why do I need to think this way and not that way? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that makes for a bad employee. And it almost was
That's
just like,
pretty honest of you to say that, though. That's pretty honest of you to say that, though. It does kind of make for a bad employee.
I mean, if you're an employee, like, I mean, we were all employees at one point. I am an employee of GM Ignited,
Yeah.
but at the same time, for example, the people that work with me, my wonderful, amazing team, I I also bring them forward to so they can bring new ideas, bring new perspectives, instead of me imposing a way of should and should not do things, right?
Yeah.
Certainly, there are certain things like, we do have to send reports every month, or
Yeah.
we do have to,
Yeah.
provide feedback and respond to the client, at least at a time limit. But when it comes to other things, it's like, you know what? If the client is texting you or messaging us at 8 p.m., do not respond, please. It's
Yeah.
your time off, right?
Yeah.
And so it's also things like, and then when they come forward with ideas, and then I'm like, oh, but I believe more this. Why do you believe that?
Yeah.
And then we have that dialogue. So it's also that's something so magical and something that I love. And I feel like every single person that works with me has their own voice and I want them to do their things their ways. There's certain things again that need to be accomplished, but the way you do it, I it should be authentic to you and should feel natural to you. Um,
What
I
do
don't
you
know
think
why I
it
responded to this, but
what do you think it is about? Because I took notes here and you said something about agencies believe in clients. Well, believe they put the money before the clients, really. And here's my job as a Google
that's
Ads
my
consultant.
perspective.
Now, well, of course, your
Yeah.
perspective, but I am seeing the same things as well. And this is why I'm curious about it,
Okay.
because I've had so many people reach out to me on my YouTube channel and they tell me, hey, Devin, I'm really, really desperate right now. And I'm like, what's wrong? And they're like, I've went to agency after agency after agency. And I mean, these clients in the US, clients in Australia, and they would come up to me and say, hey man, I've been through all of these agencies. They've literally just taken all of my money and I've got nothing, absolutely nada to show for it. What do you think it is about modern day? Well, obviously, it's not all bad apples. There has to be some good digital marketing
Of
agencies.
course.
Otherwise, agencies would just be losing clients every single month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like yours, of course. But what do you think it is about the way that most agencies are set up in that they don't work for clients, or I'd say the bad performing ones that give the clients those bad experiences? If you could list like 3 things that you think are the main issues with agencies giving clients bad service.
I mean, in all transparency, I think it comes down to two things, honestly. I think one is being human. We forget that it's not all about business. And I know that that goes against a lot of people that say that it's just business. But look, hey, you know what it is? Sometimes your clients have a crisis. Sometimes your clients are not in the right mindset because they don't see results right away. But the thing is, it's not about the results right away, is that we're building up to have a scalable um strategy for your long-term success and your long-term growth. And it's also coaching them through understanding that. And I think from my experience, I've worked at I think four agencies, four agencies, and they all have done that. The fact that it's like, um, it's just like, oh no, don't worry about it. Yes, yes, we'll do that. We'll get you
The
to
kind of like
100K. We'll
the
get you
kind of
to 10.
like um
Dismiss.
just yeah, it's kind of like whatever you want, whatever we need to tell you to get you to say yes to
Yeah.
us. Is it
Yes.
that?
Is
Got it.
exactly that. It's like, yes, yes, yes. Oh, no, no. Yes. No, we got you. Instead of setting realistic expectations, instead of understanding where they're coming from, understanding their fears, their needs, their wants, like building a genuine connection between two humans. Business is done between humans.
Yeah.
And like the moment we stop factoring that in is the moment that it starts becoming just about like an immediate number. And I'm sorry, but if you know anything about marketing, there's nothing immediate about it. And like it takes time and it takes effort and it takes
Yeah.
strategy and skills to build up to whatever it is that your goal is. And in all reality, it depends on a lot of factors. It depends on whether you have a great email flow set up and automations, whether you have a great website that actually converts and has a conversion rate that is above 1%, because 1% is so shitty. And like, um, there's so many factors. And then at the end of
Yeah.
the day, it really isn't just about the immediate results. And the moment that you don't factor in the humanity, the realistic expectations, the mindset,
Yeah.
the process is the moment that I think you're never going to have a successful experience with any agency. And why a lot of people say that agencies truly suck, but I've never seen someone that cares. I'm going to give you an example. I talked to another agency. We got hacked. Like I personally got hacked through my own Facebook account. And that affected my clients, and it was awful, honestly, a terrible experience. We were able to, like manage it and do what had to be done. And obviously at that point, I talked to other agencies and I was like, "Oh my God, like, have you experienced this? Yes or no? Like how you handled it? Like I want to make sure my clients are fine." And
Protected. Yeah.
it was putting my clients over my own fears, over my own needs, over my own expectations or whatever it was. And, I talked to other agencies. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to charge them, none of my clients this month, because I just don't feel like it's appropriate
Yeah.
having gone through this and like everything that's happening, blah, 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 and the consequences of being hacked. And they were like, no, you're kidding. Like at the end of the day, it was an accident. It's not on you, blah, blah, blah. And for me, it's like, but
It's not on your clients either.
it's not exactly, it's not. Sure, it was an accident and it can happen to literally anyone, but it happened to me.
Yeah.
And I need to take responsibility, and I need to look after the best interest of my clients. So yeah, I suffered for 2 months in terms of my income and what I was getting paid. But at the end of the day, what my clients perceived is a person that cares about my success
Yeah.
genuinely.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about me being an agency. It was about Gabby and GM caring about whoever my client is and their brand and their genuine success. So would I be setting up my clients for success if I were to say, oh yeah, we're paused, by the way, in ads for 3 weeks. And also you need to pay me for the full month.
Oh my gosh.
No, of course
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. And so
Yeah.
I think that's the main difference. And I don't believe many agencies would have done the same.
I see it all the time with websites as well, whereby clearly a client's website is not working for them, and they get these promises, or they get these people that build their websites, but the people don't really know anything about marketing. And
I
it's
know.
it's such a headache because, if you present everything that a client truly needs to create leads online and generate business and have it is such a big undertaking. And clients look at it and they're like, but I don't need all of this. I'm just here for a website. And you're like, but here's the thing. If you're going to pay some guy $500 on Fiverr to make you the website of your dreams, literally the next month, you're going to be looking at your website and wondering why you're not getting any clients from the website. And it really hit me deep when you said sometimes people don't care about marketing itself. And I think digital marketing and marketing itself, it's an art. It's something that's way deeper than just taking traffic, sending it to a page, and it'll all work out for you, and try and get the cheapest price possible. I wish it was that simple. I would probably be a billionaire if it was that simple. And a lot of people just don't take the time to, number one, talk to clients about the type of ideal customers they want to get. And number two, set realistic expectations in their client's mind. Like, don't tell your client that $100 budget is good enough when it's not good enough. Don't tell your client they can spend $10,000 and they're going to get X amount back when it's just not true. What I tend to do with Google Ads is I tend to sit down with people and I show them, if you're going to spend this money for these keywords, you're going to need a lot more money. So don't even run the campaign. And they'll be like, but Devin, what do you mean? This is my daily budget. And I'd be like, as much as I'd love to take your money, I don't want to manage a campaign that's not going to work out, because it's not going to get me further and it's not going to get you further. So what is the point? I could lie to you and tell you this could work, but I can tell you right now, it ain't going to work.
Yeah. Or it's also saying like, look, these are the realistic, we're not getting a lot, like I can help you, but just know that the decision you're making with the budget that you're making is not going to take us to the place that you're aiming. Like those aren't realistic expectations. Like obviously the option exists of you saying like, no, I can't work. Now we're at the point where we say like, no, we work with a minimum. But before it was like, look, I can't create false expectations. Like I'll work with you and I'll help you build metrics and build some traffic. But at the end of the day, it's not realistic to have a $750 budget for Facebook ads and get 10K in revenue. You know what I mean? Like that's not a possibility. Let's be clear. You're lucky if with 750 you'll get, 10 conversions. Like
that makes so much complete sense. Okay. So we've covered that. We've covered the digital marketing agency phase of your life. So now you're starting this business. And the reason why I brought you on the show is to tell me what the future of digital marketing is going to look like. Tell me about these ads that you run, because that's the main reason. That's why I met you. You were talking about I saw them as hologram ads or AR ads. And I was like, this is some freaky stuff. I need to talk to this woman. She's doing witchcraft, man. So I think that the first thing that we need to do is just show the people who are watching this video, just give them an example. So what I'm going to do is I've got a slide over here, and maybe you could just tell us what this thing is that I'm about to share, this barcode over here.
Yeah, so if you scan that experience AR that we created for one of our clients, and I'm gonna even scan it myself so I can walk you through it.
I'm gonna scan it myself too, because I don't want to be left out.
You don't want to lift. Okay, so when you scan that, that is one of our client's product that we created for them. What you see at first is a 3D model of the product, and then if you click at the in the button below that says view in real life, you can experience.
Okay, hold on. Your internet is way faster in America than it is here in South Africa. So you gotta hold on. I'm still trying to figure out where I am. Okay, so I see the bag.
Okay, you see the 3D bag?
Got the
in
bag.
The bottom.
Yes.
Says view in real life. Clicking
that. On view in real life. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you see, do you see the AR purse?
I see that.
Okay. So once you scan that, folks, you're gonna see the bag in augmented reality. So you can get closer with your phone like that.
It's on my desk. That's cool.
Yeah, you can see it like from different angles. You can see it inside, you can see it outside, you can turn your phone around and just see the purse as if you would in real life. And that is called augmented reality, or one aspect of augmented reality. Then if you click the X, so to log out, to just like leave, and you click in the um upper right corner that says like a little arrow, and then you go right there to the website. And then within the website, you can still experience the same thing. You have the 3D view option, you have the AR option, and obviously you have the option to add to cart if you want to shop the
So
purse.
guys, do you get me when I say this woman is from the future and she's doing witchcraft? You kind of get my drift here, because that is some sick technology, man. And this is literally what Gabby specializes in. This is what she's focused on, and she has a whole website. She's got a whole agency, and all she does is fashion and apparel. Am I right?
Yeah, so what we do is we started off with Facebook, Google, TikTok ads. Well, before TikTok was a thing, now we do TikTok,
Yeah.
but we do regular ads, and then we just launched the capability of doing augmented reality ads. And the way augmented reality ads work, and is very important to know, is that it's an integration, an extra layer to your regular ads. They are not meant to be used complete all of your ads be AR ads. It's meant to be a strategy that works together, has a perfect balance of regular ads and AR ads. And the whole point of AR is to experience the product and have a more seamless online shopping experience like you would in real life. So obviously now you're able to see the product in your environment. You can place the purse, in this case, a purse, but it can be any object against
That's crazy.
your desktop.
Gabby
You can
Gabby has
see it.
this thing on her Instagram. You should check it out. She's got this coffee machine. Like she
Yeah.
scans it, and then she's got this coffee machine. Is it on your Instagram or is it one of your YouTube videos?
I think
Hmm.
it was a story, so it's maybe saved on one of my highlights.
Nah, I'm pretty sure I was watching your YouTube channel last night, and it
Was that
was
a
in
YouTube?
one of
Oh
your
my god.
YouTube videos as well. So what I'm gonna do is
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like I've
link.
done so much content.
You really have. You really have. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link to that down below, or I'll just put like a short clip of it on this
Yeah.
video just so you guys can see. But it's crazy, man. And you know what? I always felt like this technology was literally 25 25 years into the, like, sometimes when you see all of this happening, you think to yourself, yeah, that's cool, but it won't work in real life. So
Mhm.
Gabby, tell me why you think that it's important for digital marketers to make this shift right now and start incorporating these types of ads into their strategies. And I've got your slides over here, so if you want to talk us through your slides, no problem, I can show them as well. Let me
Oh,
know.
it's fine. I think the main situation right now is that we see a lot of brands and a lot of marketers not seeing the same return on investment that they used to see with Facebook ads, for example. And so a lot of people are migrating from Facebook to TikTok, or just honestly struggling to get the same return on ad spend that they used to, right? And for me, that had to do with a lot of things. Obviously, one, and the one that all marketers know, is iOS 14 privacy updates, and that the limitations that that created.
There were
Um,
a lot of shed tears because of that iOS update. I can tell you that there were a lot of people that didn't know what to do next. Their whole
I
business
mean,
model was upside down. Yeah.
it changed the dynamic completely, and it created a different challenge for marketers to overcome. And I know a lot just couldn't and left the business, and a lot are still, working through it. And for me, it was almost like, obviously I went through it like everyone went through it. That was like, okay, I'm not getting the same results that I used to for my clients. How do I do that? How do I overcome this? Like, what new approaches, what can I do differently? And so I started more so looking at consumer behavior and kind of studying more of that and more of the shift that was happening in consumers. And one of the things that happened was that because of COVID, it accelerated tech adoption by 7 years. So what we thought would be something that people would
7
find
years.
mainstream,
seven
7 years,
years. Just like that,
7 years,
man.
just like
Why
that.
why do you think
This
it is?
it was because obviously being confined by your home and
Yeah.
quarantine, you are no longer part of like society as we knew it, right? You had to rely literally on your phone to be in contact with people, to see people, to connect, just in general. And even to have fun. Some people don't have massive houses. Most people don't have massive houses. Like, so it's not like you can be like playing football,
I
jumping on the
wish
pool,
I had a
like all you
massive
do.
house.
Me too. So that possibility wasn't there for a lot of people. And obviously those that live in buildings didn't have the amenities. So it's like, okay, so what do I do? Right. And I think that was the biggest shift that happened. If you saw, I'm sure that you saw with your clients or with your students, that there was a huge spike in 2020 on online shopping. Like,
Yeah.
so many people were shopping. And actually, one of the issues was in 2021 towards 2022, this year, a lot of them were like, oh, but we had such a great year on 2020. Yeah, of course, people had nothing to do, but you can't compare an anomaly year with like your regular normal years, right? And so that was the situation. Like, people started craving more immersive experience, more being part of a community, more being authentic, being real, connectivity. And that was the main shift that happened with consumer behavior, and why, honestly, why I attribute, and why a lot of people attribute TikTok's growth and TikTok's success with trends. You formed an immersive experience that created community, and that was that you were able to express authenticity. So that was genius. And so that also sparked a crave for something new,
Yeah.
something different, exciting, and
Yeah.
all of these things. And that's what AR does. AR creates an interactive experience,
Yeah.
creates an immersive experience, and more importantly, it creates a personalized experience for users. And so you're completely changing the way you shop online and the way you honestly connect with brands.
So
Because at the end
hold
of,
on. I'm just gonna interrupt you there.
yeah,
I'm
for
just
sure.
gonna interrupt you there. For anybody who's watching this video and she's like, this woman is talking about AR. AR meaning what, like, how do they know the difference between AR and 3D? Or how do they know the difference between seeing augmented reality? I think the best way you explained it to me was like, it's kind of like a Instagram filter.
No, so that's an aspect to
Yeah.
augmented reality.
Yeah.
So we have different aspects to augmented reality. The
Okay.
most common, and I think it's so funny that people are like, oh, augmented reality, that's so far away. It's like, no, you're literally using it now, and you're making it a day by day thing, because filters are an aspect to AR. So when you hear AR, you can think about filters. Filters are part of AR. And so AR, in essence, is a digital object or a digital program or a digital effect that interacts with your real world. So let's just say that purse that you just saw, that
I'm just
was,
going to share the slides so they just have a visual of,
yeah,
AR. Yeah. Cool.
yeah. So exactly. So for example, you have an object that is digital, of course, like you just saw with the purse, that of the QR code, that appears and interacts with your real world, meaning you were able to position it on your desk, on your floor, wherever it is, on your bed, in your closet, whatever. So that is augmented reality. And with filters, it does the same thing. It's something that is digitalized, created digitally. And whether it's like the eyebrow, whether it's like the eyelash, or maybe it's like
Or
a
the bunny
costume,
ears. My girlfriend
the
loves those
bunny
bunny
ears,
ears. Or
right, whatever it may be, that is all digital. And you create a way that it interacts with your facial features, and it tracks your facial features, and it is now part of your reality, because it's meshing, it's combining both digital with your real life
that
face.
is crazy.
So
That is
that is
crazy.
AR.
That is
Yeah.
crazy. So when we're talking about these AR ads, okay,
Mhm.
are we saying that most shoppers now they're kind of going online, but they've seen it all before? And because AR is a new way of experiencing shopping, this is basically, this is why AR will be so much more effective than just your standard, here's a picture of a calculator. Do you want the calculator? It's got a 5-star rating over here. Please buy the calculator. Please, we'll give you a discount on the calculator. Please. If you sign up for our mailing list, we'll give you 10% off the calculator. Please buy the calculator. Please. There's a timer at the bottom of the screen telling you it's counting down 30, 29. The calculator's gone. The whole America is buying this calculator right now. You're going to miss out. Look, there's Bob from Florida. He just bought the calculator. What is wrong with you? Why aren't you buying this calculator? That's my question.
Can I just say that was the most accurate performance of what marketing is right now. That was hilarious. You use scarcity, you use FOMO, you were like using all of it. I love it. Offers, you were just throwing it all out there. Love it. What is wrong with you? Why aren't you buying it? Yeah, so with this change on consumer behavior, we see that it's less about the product and it's more about the experience, and it's more about the connection with the brand and really believing in what they're selling and really believing in what they stand for and what they're doing. That's why like the whole sustainability clean movement is going on, because people want to, support purposeful brands. So in that same spirit, it almost creates a sense of being part of the product. Now you're part of the product. Now you're part of the brand, because the moment that you bring a certain experience to your environment, you're immersing in this brand and what it wants to communicate to you and what it is, right? And so that's, to me, the magic of AR, and really what makes it so endearing and so what's it called? So it gives a return on the investment within ads is because you have different layers and different retargeting capabilities that you wouldn't have before with just like videos. And also it so this aspect of iOS 14, right? So iOS 14 affects anything that leaves the platform in itself, that leaves Facebook, that leaves TikTok, that leaves, right? So you need to make sure that the in-app experience with ads is the best as possible in terms of your retargeting capabilities, in terms of your targeting capabilities, in terms of the metrics that you gather, and in terms of the experience that you create, right? So there's this huge volume of ads being thrown out there to consumers. 90% are not purposeful, not intentional, and not really caring about what they're putting. It's just about buying the calculator, right? And then this other aspect of viewing things is really caring about the consumer, really taking into account what they want and what they don't want, and how they can experience that more closely, right? And so as well, it creates that whole retargeting capabilities, because now you have the capability of retargeting with with AR, you have a video or an image. And it has a text overlay on top of the video or the image that indicates that there's an augmented reality experience. It can say tap to interact, it can say tap to experience in your environment, and there's 3 other options. So it's 3 options in total that you can test and see what works. And so you have that video or that creative, then you click, you get the AR experience, and then you're able to click outbound to shop, or you're able to click back to the ad in itself.
Oh, so you're still in the pipeline no matter where you go. So I'm in the app right now. I'm looking at these images, right? So I'm in the app, I'm looking at the image and I'm like, oh, that couch looks nice. So I click on the couch and then I get to experience that couch in augmented reality, which is still keeping me on the app. I haven't left the app. And then as soon as I click on the link to know more about it, then it'll take me to a Shopify or a website. But all of this is still owned by the same business or the same company. I got it.
All of it is an integrated experience within Facebook. And so what that does is that obviously you get to keep the data that is
Wow.
gathered within not just viewing the first creative, but clicking into the experience. How long did you stay within the experience?
What are the average durations? How long are people staying?
I love that you asked that question. Let me just tell you, there are no
Now you're getting me
benchmarks right
excited over here.
now.
There's no
There are
benchmarks.
no there are no benchmarks right now. We are pioneers. Anyone and everyone that is doing this are pioneers, and they're basically establishing benchmarks within themselves. So they get to compare within their clients, they get to compare within their accounts, they get to test and see which one beats what, because you're basically competing against
Just
yourself at this
give me a
point.
number. Give me a number that I can say, okay, this is
Can I get a
what are we
drum roll
talking?
though? Can I get a drum roll? Like, thank you. Okay. Are you ready? You're not gonna believe this. I'm gonna give you the highest. I'm
Okay.
gonna go by highest and lowest.
Okay, cool. Start with low.
Okay, I'll start with low. Well, with low, we see people experiencing the ad for a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
What? Okay. Okay.
Oh, you said what the
That is
best?
like borderline top YouTube ad territory already.
Okay.
And this is the start. Okay, cool.
This is start. We've seen 5 minutes. Average
5
5 minutes.
minutes.
Average 5 minutes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Top.
Yeah.
Our top 14 minutes.
No, dude. You can get somebody to stay on an app or on a website for 14 minutes. That's gold.
That's cold, man. And we
That
can
is
target that.
gold.
We can retarget that. And I haven't even gone to one of the other major parts of this.
Okay.
People are able to, so you know how when you're in your stories,
Hold on. I'm still absorbing this. 14 minutes is a long time, guys. Just to give you an idea, on my YouTube channel, my average view duration for all these 150,000 views I have, my average view duration is somewhere between 4 to 5 minutes. That is it across all my videos. And these people kind of know me because I'm kind of teaching them and stuff. To get somebody to stay in an experience for 14 minutes and have that number as an average, if you guys don't contact Gabriella after this, I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. Okay. Anyway, you were saying.
crazy. It's crazy. And yeah, and so after that, one of the great capabilities of AR ads in itself is that when you are experiencing the AR experience, the app allows you to record, to share on your stories, to share in your DMs. So you are getting organic views out of this as well. So the moment that you share a video of the experience, that whatever it is, in your stories, we get to keep those metrics, which means that whatever impressions you have on your story that you shared on the experience, that is no longer the ad, but it's still linked to the ad, but it's no ad. It doesn't say sponsored. It doesn't say ad. It doesn't say anything. And you put it on your story. We get to keep those impressions.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So in other words, not only do you get, just to explain this to the audience, not only do you get the data from the ad, which is important, you can also build shareability into the ad. So in other words, when people are making organic posts with the recordings, you get to keep that data. You can't do that with any other type of ad. Once it's gone, it's gone. Once you've posted it, it's posted. You get your data, but you don't know what happens afterwards. The fact that you can see that data as well, that's another gold mine next to the original. That's the platinum mine next to the gold mine. Anyway, Gabriella, continue. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying people are leaving Facebook way too soon.
Yeah.
People are giving up on Facebook way too soon. As marketers, how do you know something's not working until you have tested enough?
Yeah.
And if you have not tested AR, you have not tested, you have not tested the entire possibility within the Facebook.
Why do you think people are so quick to give
And
up
when I say,
on Facebook
I'm
ads?
sorry, when I'm saying Facebook ads, I also mean Instagram. Duh.
Yeah, okay. They go together. We got it. We got it. Yeah.
I need to make that adjustment. What did you ask? My
Why do
bad.
you think people are giving up? Okay, so I know the iOS update, but I feel like it's all shiny object syndrome, man. Because they all come running to Google Ads, and I tell them, look, dude, the ad costs are gonna be the ad costs. If you're running from platform to platform, it's a sign that you don't know what the fundamentals of digital marketing are. That's the real problem. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, they're just like, oh no, Facebook ads is dead. You should be doing TikTok ads. These are the, TikTok ads are, yeah, kind of, but what are you going to do when TikTok ad costs start going up? What are you going to do then? Are you going to run over to the next thing? Are you just going to keep on running from platform to platform? So you learn something for 2 years, you master it, and then as soon as something bad happens, you just whoosh, gone. Doesn't make sense.
No, it really doesn't. I don't believe in putting all your eggs in one basket,
Yeah.
and this conversation has nothing to do with, oh, just be on Facebook.
Yeah.
It has to do with the fact that don't leave Facebook just yet. Instagram, Facebook, don't leave them just yet. And I think people are leaving, one, because obviously it has become increasingly challenging because of the perception that people are no longer hanging out as much as they used to within Instagram and Facebook,
Yeah.
Which in reality is not true. I mean, worldwide, it still is the leading platform. Facebook is still the leading platform.
Yeah.
And then 3, not knowing that there's more to it than what they know.
So are there AR ads, if I'm understanding you correctly? AR ads on Google Ads, yes or no?
Right now, no, there's 3D
3D.
ads on Google.
So what would be the difference with the 3D ads then?
The 3D ads are more almost animated.
Okay.
Almost like animated.
More like 3D objects that you can just look around and not really interact with them. So augmented reality is when you bring something into your reality, and 3D is when something lives in its reality. You just get to look at it from all sides.
Yes.
Got it. That is all right. Facebook, yes, we can do them.
Yes.
That's the way. That's
Facebook
why she's smiling.
And Snapchat. Facebook and Snapchat. That is all.
Instagram ads. Well, the one and the same thing. Instagram.
Right.
Facebook.
Instagram, Facebook, both. Yeah.
TikTok.
No. Not yet.
No. Okay. So let's say I'm watching this and I'm saying, okay, I gotta start learning about these types of ads. Would the best thing for them to do be follow you on social media because you talk them through the whole list of everything? Would that be a great place to start for them? Or is your content that you make a bit more high level than that?
No, I am going to definitely create more easier to understand content and how to get started and the approach and all the little
I must say, if you're new to this, you should check out Gabriella's free training as well, because her free training is really something that, where can they sign up for that free training? Because I think that really helped me wrap my head around what you were saying.
Yeah. And that free training it talks more about AR towards the end. They're very short videos. I tried to keep them as short and concise as possible so people don't have to like spend hours and hours on that free course. But the point is like, that is a great way to start understanding why it's relevant, why it matters, why it came about, and what can you do about it, and what are the capabilities of it. So in that free course is that I'm expecting to launch a second free course that is more specific about AR and kind of walking you through the pieces that you need and more of the techie
and that
side
specific one that I was on, that specific call, do you do those calls often? Because that's really where I
the live, you mean
the live. I guess the best thing to do would be follow Gabriella wherever, because she is going to do amazing things, and you might as well just get some popcorn, because sooner or later she's going to give you what you need. I think that's the best strategy if you want to learn this stuff.
Yes. So On my YouTube channel, I'm planning on getting out video by video specific about like all the things that I've learned, the things that I had to research and kind of putting that out there. There's very little information, surprisingly, about like benchmarks, about how to set it up, about what you need before setting it up. I kind of the way I started finding out about these things is I started so I have an Oculus, and I in my midst of learning about the metaverse and I'm learning about like everything, I went on a place called
Alt space.
Altspace,
Okay.
and it's basically about conferences. And they bring on like people just to talk about whatever topic it's relevant in that moment, but I think it's mostly about Web3. And so, I was like, "Oh, okay, I think I have time. I'll just jump into this one." And
Okay.
it was about how Web3 is becoming more relevant for fashion apparel brands. It was like something super specific towards like what I was thinking and I had in mind and I wanted to do. So I go in there and then this girl, this co-founder of this company was talking about how to have your e-commerce integrated with augmented reality and 3D. And I was like, whoa,
Whoa.
that's exactly what I was thinking about. Like, that's exactly, I just didn't know how to do it. But that was like already something that I had in my mind and I wanted to do. I just didn't know how to. And then I reached out, I started talking to them, and then I started, so all these back and forth, like through my path of researching and
Yeah.
um finding out just like that seed that I had in my mind of what I wanted to do, just not knowing how to do it. That's how I got my answers, but not really by just Googling. It was literally by connecting, jumping on calls, on talking to leading people in the industry that are being part of creating this Web3. And that's how kind of started it. And then obviously by my own experience of implementing it, right? That's when I started noticing like little greedy like details that are obviously also necessary to know prior to starting. And I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't done it.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to create YouTube videos on. So people don't have to go through all these
Makes
jumping through
sense. It
like
makes
I
sense.
did.
Like if you could create a resource for them, like I'm
Yeah.
sure there are so many digital marketers watching this that really want to get on that train and want to understand. And I think
Yeah.
I think from just hearing you speak and just listening to the metrics and stuff, like this is the future, whether you like it or not, man. This is the future of
Yeah.
digital marketing, man. I
Yeah.
was I was in a bit of a depression after Google Ads released Performance Max. I had a bit of a downer, and I saw on LinkedIn that you said that you use Performance Max ads.
Yeah.
So you're not my friend anymore. So we're just gonna we're just gonna leave it at
They're
that.
performing well. They're
Yeah,
performing
I just
well.
I just don't like them. Like from the day like it's weird. Like if you see somebody that you just don't like and you have no logical reason not to like them, you just don't like. That is me with Performance Max. I don't even like I come so close to creating content for Performance Max, but every time I do, I'm like, there has got to be a better way other than Performance Max. But I think a lot of people might feel the same way about AR and augmented reality and 3D ads and doing all of this stuff. I think human beings have this natural desire to do things the same way it's always been done, because that's exactly where their comfort zone is. And as
Yeah.
soon as you introduce something new, like here's this woman Gabriella talking about all of these weird ads. Why can't we just keep on doing what we're doing? Just leave us alone.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way I feel about Performance Max. Not justified, but that's
Yeah.
kind of like the way that I feel about them.
I mean, the world is evolving whether we want it or not, and we can either die or we can evolve with it, right? And I think what AR creates is a huge possibility of also going more in line with creating more mindful marketing experiences.
Yeah.
And that to me is why I kind of fell in love with AR and why I want to keep pushing it. And I love to say that the boundaries lie in your um creative boundaries. So the moment that you no longer have ideas or no longer think of outside the box is the moment that's where you're going to cut yourself short with what AR can do.
And
Literally,
it's
AR
kind of
can
what we
do,
get paid to do, being creatives at the
yeah,
end of the day.
AR
Yeah.
can do and create anything. There's this you can even create, which is something that we're working on right now, is creating not only AR ads, we also integrate the AR experience in your website. Then what we also do is, or we're working on right now, these are the first two steps that we've worked on for some of our clients. But there are other aspects to it that we're working on, which is adding AR experiences to your SMS campaigns, your email marketing campaigns, and even your post-purchase experiences, which means, like, for example, I get a product, right? I got a product. In
Yeah.
this case, I'm going to use an example of one that blew my mind, which was a wine bottle.
Okay.
And basically, the wine bottle, the label was a QR code, but not a QR code the way you see it. It was the label itself, but it was configured as a QR code, which means that if you scan the label, you get whatever it is that is programmed into the label.
Wow.
So in this case, it was programmed an AR experience, and it was all about what the flavors of the bottle, and it was an experience about the label and the journey and the meaning of the bottle and like the name or whatever it was. But it was like this frog that kind of like popped out of the label. It
Whoa.
kind of started jumping around, and obviously you place your bottle in obviously like a table or
Yeah.
something, right? So
Yeah.
they assume that it's there because obviously that's how you would drink your wine. It's going to be like on top
Yeah.
of something. And so it almost like interacted with your desk, and like it created, like, I didn't personally have it. I saw it. I saw it on YouTube, or someone sent me this
Yeah.
link.
But
I can't
you still
recall.
felt something.
I felt so much. I was like, where can I get this bottle? How can I experience this drink? Like, it no longer was about the wine. It was about the entire experience from
Yeah.
A to Z of this wine and how it made you feel, because it's
Yeah.
not the same just drinking and tasting, but having something, a story popping out and you understanding the journey of that, where
Yeah.
that bottle is
We
from
gotta
or
get
where
that
the
wine, man.
flavor is from.
If anyone knows that wine, comment down below.
Below,
I'll check it and I'll
literally.
send it to Gabriella. But yo, we gotta
I
check.
should
We
look,
gotta figure out what wine that is, man.
I
That's a
should look
beautiful
for it.
story.
Yeah.
That is such a beautiful story. And I think a lot of people, especially business owners, talk to them and they're all about their numbers. They're all about their numbers. Like I was just on a call before we got on this call, and gentleman told me he has this website and he can't figure out what's wrong with his website because he's getting all of
Mhm.
these clicks and stuff. And I said to him, there's no human beings on this web page that you're sending your traffic to. I was
Oh,
like, what do you mean? I was like, if you're selling something, there has to be some type of human connection. There has to be some
100%.
empathy. There has to be some story. There has to be some journey. When people are spending their money, yes, spending their money is important and they might want what you sell, but that's just on a utilitarian level. The
Yeah.
job of digital marketers is to get you to feel something, because once it becomes an emotional thing for you, then you're no longer going to be so concerned about the money that you're spending.
Yes. Your value is no longer in just the numbers. It's something more transcendent than that.
Yeah.
And it creates a connection that is going to build brand loyalty. So we're firm believers that with AR, that's what you're able to create. It's no longer about just like, oh, the one-time product that you bought. It was about the affinity, the connection, the experience that you build. And that is something that people won't forget.
Yeah.
That stays with you. It's almost like that feeling when when you go to a store and you buy something like expensive and you get the bag and you get the whole like, oh, they brought me champagne stuff. Like, they do that for a reason. It's because it's going to be memorable and it's going to make you want not only to get a second purse, but to go through that experience again. Like, so many people don't that buy like luxury brands, they prefer doing that in person because of that experience and because of how it makes you feel. They make you feel important, special, the attention, this, that. So how can you bring that? And that's where my initial thought came from. Like, how can you bring that to online, because online, it is the future, and it is the best way to kind of scale a brand if you
Yeah.
don't want to go real retail,
Yeah.
or if another pandemic, God forbid,
God
happens,
forbid. Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
where it came from.
Awesome. All right. So, Gabriella, I think I've taken up a lot
A
of your
lot. I
time.
know, I've taken up a lot of your time. Oh my God.
But
But
I
I'm
I
glad to share
so
this.
enjoyed this talk. I so enjoyed this talk. So let's say I'm somebody who's thinking about getting into this world. I want you to run everything for me, because clearly Gabriella knows a lot more than I do. Where exactly do I reach you? Where exactly do I follow you? How do I get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you can connect with me via my IG. It's Gabby, Gaby Marcano P. I'm sure you're gonna link that down there. In my Instagram, you can find obviously a lot of info about marketing, but also a lot about mindset, because I believe it's all about an integral holistic experience. And then you can also find out more about my services and what AR is via my website, which is www.gmignited.com, and my YouTube channel, which is also Gabriela Marcano. And those are like the three places that you guys can connect. And I'm always looking at my DMs, so you can always feel free to shoot a DM there, or you can just follow the link and schedule a call with me, whether it is a consultation call or an exploration call.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's
So,
been an absolute pleasure talking to
oh no, oh
you.
my God, the pleasure's all mine, really.
I really, really enjoyed this. You know, you are the first person. I've had this YouTube channel now for 2.5 years. You are the first person that I actually wanted to interview. Like, I actually said, okay, I am going to interview her. I'm going to put her on the channel. So big ups to
Thank
you.
you so
You're
much.
doing such amazing things. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Gabriela Marcano. All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, and
Okay.
guys, make sure you like and subscribe for more content like this. And I'm sure we're going to see Gabriella again on the channel. But yeah, if you want to learn digital marketing, if you want to learn Google Ads, if you want to learn how to just blow up your business, or maybe you just want to see if it's even worth it, make sure you subscribe to Neptune Design, and you're going to see a lot more content like this. All right, guys, peace. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching till the end. I really appreciate it. If you want to get a hold of Gabriella, check out the links down below. I'll also include some free digital marketing resources so that you can learn more about digital marketing down below as well. Now, if you're wondering what to watch next, you can check out this video over here. Peace.